What's up, YouTube? Jeff, your Style O.G. In today's video, we're going to do a style breakdown and show how you can dress like Steve McQueen. If you're new to the channel, we release a new video every day at 4 p.m. Eastern, discussing various men's lifestyle topics such as style, grooming, and dating. I invite you to subscribe and join that notification squad and join us. And to my returning friends like D Smooth, salute. Okay, first, I gave you Ghost from the show Power. Then I came back with Conor McGregor. After that, we swung back around, gave you Hove. And the last one we gave you, Harvey Specter from the show Suits. But on today, we're gonna do a style breakdown on one of my favorite style icons, the movie actor, Steve McQueen. And that's a little bit of story time with the Style O.G. When I was a young man coming up, my best friend was my grandmother. And she always used to make me watch old movies. But what she didn't know, even though I really wasn't into the black and white 60s, 70s, 50s movies, I always admired the style of the guys on the screen. And one of the guys who jumped off the screen to me was Steve McQueen. I don't care if it was movies like Bullet, The Thomas Crown Affair, the dude always looked right. And even when he was off screen, he was fly. And as I've gotten older, of course, I always recommend to you guys, if you don't know where to start with your style, get somebody whose style you kind of emulate. And Steve McQueen has always been one of those guys for me. So like we always do, I'm gonna do a style breakdown of Steve McQueen, talk about some of the style cues and techniques he used that you can incorporate into your style and make you more of a style icon. So without further ado, let's get into the style breakdown of the great Steve McQueen. Now, one of the first style techniques that Steve McQueen definitely made great use of, he dressed in classic, simple styles. And a lot of times you notice they were solid colors and classic cuts and silhouettes. So when you go back and look at some of his old pictures, whether he has on chinos or a crew neck t-shirt, a Barracuda jacket, it looks in style then and now. Now, even though most of the time Steve dressed in casual clothes, you better believe they were cut and fit just right. Not too loose, not too baggy. That way it showed off his physique, but it wasn't showy and trendy with a bunch of plaids and patterns that actually were in style at the time. So the first style move we're gonna take from Steve McQueen, dress in classic, simple styles in solid colors. Now, although 9 times out of 10, you would see Steve McQueen in casual clothes like chinos and jackets, when he did get dressed up, he went all the way. Now, Steve wasn't really much of a suit and tie guy, but when he did, he showed out. When Steve decided to throw on a suit and tie, he didn't just throw on your basics. He would go all out, most of the time wearing a 3-piece suit. What you and I can learn from is when you step out of your comfort zone, go all the way. Now, swinging back to what's more of Steve's usual look, casual clothes, another technique he used great use of is where he liked to layer jackets over simple pieces. For example, this is one of my homages to him. He often wore a jacket over a turtleneck. Or you might see him with the Barracuda over a t-shirt, crew neck, a button-up Oxford, or you might even see him rocking a V-neck sweater over that same Oxford. So one of the things you can do to be a classic style guy like Steve McQueen, layer jackets over simple pieces. Another great technique that Steve often used, he knew the power of accessories, but I'm talking minimal accessories. You always saw him with usually 2. He usually had on his Persol sunglasses, which I always try to tell you guys, everybody looks cooler with a pair of shades, and he had his Rolex Submariner, or Submariner, I always forget how you pronounce it. I'm sure you watch guys will correct me. However, that's it. He never had more than 2. A lot of guys nowadays try to show off with extra accessories, but not style icons like Steve McQueen. With great minimal accessories like some great shades and a signature timepiece. And last but not least, the last thing we can take from the Steve McQueen breakdown is his great use of classic all-American men's style wardrobe essentials. You often saw him in chinos, sweaters, V-necks, Barracuda jackets, turtlenecks, all staples that were in style then, in style now. That's why when you look at pictures of Steve that might be 40, 50 years old now, he still looks like he's in style. That's because he always grabbed and made use of classic American wardrobe essentials that you and I can wear now and off into the future, and still look like a style icon when people look back on our pictures like when we do with Steve McQueen. Okay, so there you have it. My style breakdown of Steve McQueen. Let me know in the comment section if you're an admirer of this screen icon style. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, hit that like button. It helps the channel to grow. And of course, join the notification squad so you don't miss any of the videos we release every day at 4 p.m. Eastern, and I'll meet you here tomorrow.